So you went out and joined with Volker and went to the Lifestyle Center. And what's been happening there since you got there?
Well, it's just been a marvelous opportunity. There's been so much going on, it's hard to really go through it all. But, you know, the first thing I did as taking over the center, I started to think, you know, there's thousands of people in the local community that could use help. And I just started going around to the senior centers and the newspapers and just talking to people. It's amazing. In just a few months' time, over 200 people from the local community would come out, and we would have classes on the evenings, you know, different evenings of the week. And we have so many testimonies of people that have, one lady in particular, she came to us, she was on 10 different medications, and she would take naps during the days, very tired all the time. And just in showing her a few different things that she could do, in the course of about 30 days, she was able to wean herself off of all 10 of her medications, and I think she lost about 30 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, she feels totally different person, like she's totally new.
Right. So this whole ministry is making a lot of impact on people's lives.
Yeah, locally I get phone calls. I had a phone call from the United Kingdom. I've had some from Queensborough, Australia. Different people with interest to come out, and so we've made a lot of impact in a very short time.
Now, this healthy living thing, is it kind of a burden? I mean, you know, some people start to think about it and they think, wow, I just really don't know if I want to add that kind of a burden to my life. Is it a burden?
There should be nothing burdensome about healthy living. You know, we try to make things as fun as they possibly could be. I know that there's generally a tendency to tell people, you know, cut this out, cut that out. You know, you were talking about salt earlier.
Right.
Eliminate these things from the diet. But it's far better to show people, hey, do this, do that. You know, these are some things that you could add to your diet and take the place of those things. It would only be natural, you know. It should be much more... it should be less stress than it would be to live any other lifestyle.
Yeah. What are some of the other things that you teach people other than diet?
Other than diet?
Yeah.
Oh, we work with hydrotherapy and massage. We use a lot of herbs, you know. There's all sorts of things that we run people through when we talk to them. Everyone's a little different. There's, you know, you mentioned the 8 laws. Those are pretty general. You know, but there's a lot of stuff there that you can go inside little nooks and crannies of those 8 laws to work with people with.
Okay. What are some of the stories, success stories, maybe that you've had with people?
Well, the one lady I just mentioned, we have another lady that she had a scare of breast cancer. We worked with her, and she eliminated a lot of the things. She actually came as just a friend of one of the ladies that came up one time. She said, oh, I'm not sick. I have nothing wrong with me. I don't really care to, you know, make any lifestyle changes. But after talking with her, she started to get more concerned about her own health. And she came back the following week, and we started to talk with her. And, you know, we just told her some things she could incorporate into her life. And so she started to, you know, eat better foods and cut out some things that she didn't think were too healthful. But she did most of that herself, you know. We got a report back that she was at a barbecue in the town, and she was telling another local minister there that, you know, she wasn't going to eat any of the meat at the barbecue because it says in Genesis 1:29 that God never intended for us to eat meat. And so she's been, you know, a lot of these people end up walking billboards for us, and it's a lot of fun in that regard.
Absolutely. Let me ask you about some of the experiences that you've had where people came and had maybe a real chronic problem and saw some change.
Yeah, my wife and I, over the past 10 years, we worked with probably about 200 people that have had cancer. That's been probably the biggest segment of the people that we've worked with.
All right.
Very, very broad spectrum of those. I mean, obviously with the women, we've seen a lot of women with breast cancer, but I have to say, we're not doctors or a medical facility. We don't, you know, try to get into that realm at all. Just working with those people, though, we see tremendous results. I've seen dozens and dozens of people that in just 2 to 4 months are totally cancer-free with no radiation or
Is that
chemotherapy.
right?
Yeah.
So before you came to work at the Lifestyle Center, you were actually working on an individual basis with people?
Yeah, my wife and I, at first, we each would go and work with people in their in their homes for a few weeks at a time, 6 weeks at a time. And after we had our first child, it just became myself that would go out. You know?
Right.
But yeah, more or less on an in-home setting. But now we're in a different in-home setting.
Right. So you can bring people to that home. I had somebody suggest to me just before I came on, in fact, my wife, we were talking about my doing this program with you, and she said, you know, tell people that they ought to, this would be an ideal vacation. Go take a health vacation.
Amen.
Go, you may not be sick, you may not have some chronic problem, but go, rest, walk, exercise, do some eating of that. She said, I think that would be an ideal way to take part in a lifestyle center.
Yeah, we really do try to do that. We try to get people out. You know, the state of Kentucky has so much natural beauty. There's, what is it, 150 natural arches, different hiking trails. I mean, even on our property, there's 2+ miles of you know, land that you could go through and look at all the different areas. And there's a big cave in the back that we had one group that spent over 2 hours and never came to the end of the cave. So
wow.
There's a lot of neat things to see, and we do try to make it fun.
Yeah.
You know? But we are there for people's health and well-being as well. You
exactly.
know? So.
But it's not a bad place then for even a vacation, for someone to take some time, and particularly if they're not looking for the Disneyland kind of thing, but they're looking for nature, they're looking for rest, rejuvenation, what a real true vacation should be.